Are you a fursuiter going to Anthrocon this year? Well, you need to be prepared. The temperatures are going to be in the 80s and 90s, and the humidity, well, the whole area is a bit of a swamp, so it's going to be pretty high. My name is Inklitz, and I've been running the Healthy Fursuiting panel for the past 3 years at Anthrocon and any other convention that'll have me. Since my panel this year is on a Saturday, I don't get the chance to talk to you before then. So, I prepared this. This is my 5 tips for fursuiting at Anthrocon. Tip number 5. The shuttles are your friends. Now, most of us probably didn't get into the Westin, the Drury, or the Courtyard, which means we've got a bit of a walk ahead of us. Thankfully, Anthrocon provides a fleet of shuttles to take you to and from your hotel. They don't go to the local hotels, but they will go to most of the hotels that are on the hotel block. This makes it so much easier to stay at distant hotels when you're fursuiting. I've included a link down below for all of the current shuttle information. Starting on Thursday at 8 a.m., the shuttles will start running from most of the hotels. And these shuttles will continue until 3 a.m. the next morning. On Sunday, the service ends at 11:59. The shuttles come every 20 to 30 minutes, depending on traffic. And if you're in the North or South Shore hotels, it'll be more closer to 30 or 45 minutes. These are air conditioned, so they keep you from having to walk in the heat. Number 4. Remember, 2 meals a day. At a convention, we're burning through a lot of calories. We're walking from panel to dealer's den to panel to dealer's den to hotel. And adding that in the heat, how does that sound again? We're burning through a lot of calories. And when you're going into fursuiting, you're going to burn a lot more because fursuiting is cardio. Something you want to remember to do at a convention is eat a lot of calorie-dense foods. Probably not McDonald's. I mean, in a pinch, it'll work. I usually recommend to pack along a lot of calorie-dense foods such as granola bars, nuts, jerky. I happen to like Cliff Bars. They work really well for me. There is a lot of places where you can eat a proper meal around the convention center. Usually, Anthrocon releases a dining guide around this time as well. They haven't released it yet as of this recording, but if they do, I will post it down in the link below. But when they do, they will tell you about what kind of foods you can find, how much you'll expect to spend, and how close it is. In the convention center itself, there will be things like catering, drinks, and meals. Outside of the convention center, you have a plethora of restaurants around the area, including taco places, sub places, and everyone's favorite, Pizza Parma. There are many more further out in the area, so take a look around. Number 3. Hydrate, but choose wisely. Water is important, but just as important are electrolytes. If you're not hydrating with electrolytes and you're only getting water, you're only doing half the job of hydrating. Heat causes us to use more potassium in our bodies. So, if it's going to be really hot over the weekend, we're going to burn through a lot of potassium. Consider other drinks that also have more potassium and magnesium in them, or may have other vitamins and minerals as well. But potassium, magnesium, and sodium are the main sources of electrolytes for our bodies. Some other drinks that I've tried are Body Armor, Ghost, Prime, and chocolate milk. All of these drinks have a more balanced amount of electrolytes in them. For example, milk itself has 400 milligrams of potassium. If you're concerned about your hydration needs, check with your doctor. I am not a licensed physician. I am a cat. But water is always important, and there will be water available to you throughout the entire convention. You can find water stations throughout the DLCC and the Westin. These are typically on tables in these glass containers, or in these small, squat, sort of like water fountains. You will also find these in the headless lounges, which I will cover later on. Number 2. Dress accordingly. When you're fursuiting, it's important to know what to wear underneath your fursuit. Our normal everyday clothes are designed to hold in heat. So, if we're wearing a fuzzy carpet over those, we're just building up more and more heat, especially in the hot Pittsburgh sun. That was weird. So, what we need to do is find clothes that pull heat away from our body and keep sweat away from our fursuit. Luckily, there is sport material that does this. Typically, we want to look for a spandex-like material called Lycra. This is a thin, lightweight material that you can wear underneath your fursuit. This material is designed to pull sweat away from your body. And when you pull sweat away from your body, that helps cool your body off. But it also has the added advantage of keeping sweat away from your fursuit. And if you're keeping sweat away from your fursuit, that means your fursuit dries off faster too. So I think it's a win-win. A lot of fursuiters use the brand Under Armour. It is popular, but it is expensive. But Under Armour has been in the game for a long time. They sell base layers for both the heat and the cold. But be careful which one you buy. This is because you're looking for Under Armour's heat gear, not the cold gear. Heat gear is a thin, lightweight material made of lycra mostly. The cold gear, well, is not. If you're on a budget, search for things that have lycra in it. You can also find full bodysuits made out of the material. But be careful. Some brands use dyes that bleed and can be pulled out onto your suit by your sweat. Just do your due diligence first and test any material for bleed first before you use it with your fursuit. The conclusion of our foreshadowing, and the number one tip that I have. Pittsburgh summer is the pits. It's really hot in Pittsburgh in the summer. Even though Anthrocon is one of the most popular furry conventions in the year, it still takes place in the middle of summer. It can get anywhere from 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit or beyond. In the sun, it can be even worse. So act accordingly and avoid the sun as much as possible when you're fursuiting. Heat-sensitive people should stay indoors during the day if possible. If you can, fursuit at night. If you can't, the DLCC, the Westin, and several local businesses have the air conditioning on very high. In fact, if you go into the dealer's den in the middle of the convention, you'll actually see some dealers wearing hoodies because it gets so cold in there. I don't know how much they spend on air conditioning in that place, but it's gotta be a fortune. There are some places that might be cooler if you do go outside. This is such as the water feature, which runs underneath the DLCC, or the waterfront, where you get a pretty nice breeze. Not here though. There's no breeze here. If you do find yourself walking around in fursuit and needing to cool down, there are now 4 headless lounges available to you in the area of Anthrocon. One is near main events, which is near the large ballroom. Another is in the dealer's room near the charity booth. The third is in the Westin on the 3rd floor near the Allegheny Ballroom. And then the 4th is in the DLCC street level in the east lobby. There will be a 5th one available during the block party only on Saturday, and will be near the courtyard. As you fursuit, you will learn your own signs of when you are overdoing it. But there are some signs that are typical of every person. Things such as being faint or dizzy, excessive sweating, cool, clammy skin, nausea, and a weak or rapid pulse are signs of heat exhaustion. You may also have unexplained muscle cramps. If you're on the verge of heat stroke, you may also have a throbbing headache, you may not sweat at all, and your body temperature might be very high. You might also throw up or have a strong rapid pulse, and you may lose consciousness. If you do lose consciousness and EMS is called, they can and will cut you out of your fursuit. Heat stroke is one of the most dangerous things you can experience at a furry convention. Having a heat stroke actually damages your body's ability to maintain and regulate heat, which means after a heat stroke, your body may not actually be able to regulate heat as well as it had been before, which means less time fursuiting. And having a heat exhaustion or a heat stroke ruins anyone's convention. I hope these tips help you to have a healthier and more fun time fursuiting at Anthrocon, or at any convention you plan to go to. But if you are going to Anthrocon and you want more information, come to my panel. It'll be taking place at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday in the DLCC room 335. That's the 3rd floor of the convention center. But until then, stay safe, stay sane, and stay frosty.